It's on now? Okay. Okay. You could barely hear me?
I couldn't hear you at all.
Okay. Again, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. For the sake of you online, I apologize. We had the microphone turned off here. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just. I greet all of you who are hungry and thirsty for Allah's understanding of what He revealed through the prophets and messengers. I greet you all with the greeting words of peace. May Allah's Salam Alaikum. I was just telling you all that we had a fire and it damaged our phone lines and stuff and did a little damage to our building here. The building that we were getting ready to move out of, it had an electrical short in it, and thank you, baby. And it, it burnt down. And but I would be remiss not to say to the, we had, was it 4 fire trucks came out here? It was 4 of them. Claiborne County, Lorman, Red Lake, and Fayette. And they got out here seemed like 5 minutes after we called them. If it had been any later, this building probably wouldn't be here. But they got right out here, and I was so thankful. And I didn't get a chance to really talk to them, each one of them personally. They was busy fighting the fire, and I mean, we were blessed that this building didn't get consumed, and I really appreciate the quick response that the fire departments, and the police, the sheriff was out here. It was just an outpouring of support, and I thank you. The
host has connected you to the call. Line muted.
You didn't have me in the room?
One of the rooms has the waiting room.
Well, we doing this new. You all, our lines are not allowing us to do like we would like to do. You got me in all the rooms now? Beg your pardon? Well, that's a fine time for you to tell me you didn't hear me, brother. I mean, testing 1, 2. Do I need to call that room back? Beg your pardon? Do you see me in that room, Brother Michael?
Yes, sir.
You see you see the voice in there?
Yes, sir.
What is that beeping I hear? You all pardon us, just give us a chance. When Caucasian people were setting up this country, if you had saw, you saw Tombstone and some of them cowboys, they wouldn't have never thought that they would be where they are today. So, it's not, I know this is crude, but this is new to us. And so things don't always work out like we would like, But I remember when white people was building, when it came their turn to march with the banner of civilization, they was building cabins out of logs, and so I mean, but look at them now. So I'm not discouraged, simply because we having a hard time dealing with some of these mechanical instruments that we have here. I don't know what that beeping is, but brother told me he got me in both conference rooms. So
Sorry to spot back in there. I figured that on your mute. That's all I hear.
Brother Michael, have you unmuted me in that conference room?
Yes, sir, you have to leave
I mean, you told me you saw me talking in there. So
the trust. I see you talking to
Text, and I can't hear you. Text from people said they can't hear you.
tell you what, I'm gonna hang up and call back into both rooms, and then you can. Just a moment. Let me see something here. No, it wasn't on mute. Well, that's because I'm on this other phone here. But
you good in the 258 room. That's on the cell phone.
okay, well, I'm gonna hang up and try both numbers again. You all let Ken hear me. Just have me, if y'all can talk to each other and tell them what I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna hang this up and call back both rooms. If it'll let me call. Just a moment. You don't see me in there now, right?
I don't see your cell phone.
This service is provided in high definition. Access code or phone number you have dialed is incorrect. Please check your credentials and try again. Please.
See, I just put my credentials in there and it didn't accept it.
This service.
pleases Allah, we will get this straight in a minute. Testing. 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2, 3. What about the station? They hearing us good? Okay. All right, let's see. We no longer hear you in the 055. Okay, Brother Michael, do something about that. Testing. 1, 2. It's like it's not letting me.
Looks like you, 055 is both your cell phone and 055 that both those phone numbers are in the same conference room.
Yes, they are. Tell you what, I'm gonna hang up the 717 and I'm gonna dial them from different numbers, and then we'll see. So you can't unmute me twice. That's what you're saying.
No, you muted twice in both in the same room.
Well, they not hearing me.
That's because they're both in the 280. You're not, I don't hear no volume in the 05.
I'm in the 055. You just don't hear me in there because it's not allowing that to happen. So just hold on. I'm gonna hang up and I'm gonna mix these numbers here. You all give us a minute. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm on. Y'all just give me a minute.
Hello. Please enter your 6-digit conference code. Welcome to VAST Conference. We will now connect you to your call. Line muted.
Okay, Brother Michael, you have to unmute that now. Just a moment.
Access code accepted. There are 9 participants in the conference.
Now let me call the other conference room. Y'all give me a minute. background, but what can you say? In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just, I greet all of you once again who are hungry and thirsty for Allah's understanding of what He revealed to His prophets and messengers. I greet you all with the greeting words of peace. May Allah's Salam Alaikum. Now, before we found out that we had missed speaking to some people, we apologize for that. But like I said, we had a fire, and and that's what the problem was. We had a fire, and the phone lines got a little damaged and whatnot. Talk to me if it's a problem now. Don't have me stand up here talking all this time and then people don't hear me.
Yes, sir. Now, I don't hear you in the 909. And sorry, 968. Nothing's coming through.
Well,
Sir, can you say something?
testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. So I don't know if people playing with the phone or what, but we do what we have to do. What you got? Say what?
I don't know why your landline, I see your volume is 968, but he said he can't hear you in there.
All thing I heard is that
Well, it sounds like they got me on hold.
Yeah. 28280, all I hear is beep.
So we'll tell you what. Now, you don't hear me in 055.
055, we just don't hear you in 968. So you're in here, we just don't hear you.
Okay. What about now? Can you hear me in there now? It's going in there, but it's not coming out.
Right. I see your volume going up and down the grade.
Well, it's not even giving us the service that we're paying for. Then we're going to have to stop paying for it and get something else. Let's see. I'm going to try it again. Can you hear me now? Testing. 1 2. Testing. 1 2. Just hearing that beat. But y'all hear me in the other two. Well, I want to solve this problem. It just don't make sense.
So you try to call the two new conference room from the cell phone and merge them there?
Beg your pardon?
Call it two new conference.
I did that already, and you couldn't unmute them. I'll do it again.
Use your 717 on your cell phone. So I'm saying call a cell phone, 717 on the landline, and use your cell phone for other people.
We tried all of that, but I'll do it again.
Yes, sir.
I should say all three of them?
Well, the other one's already up in the dial, so all three are unmuted, yes.
Okay. Let's try it again. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just, I greet all of you once again who are hungry and thirsty for Allah's understanding of what He revealed to His prophets and messengers. This is the day where you can get that understanding, for that's what I'm here for. I greet you all with the greeting words of peace. May Allah's salam alaikum. Now, even though we are somewhat late getting started, I don't say later than usual because we're not usually late, but we don't usually have fires every day either. And I'm the kind of person that when bad stuff happens, I'm like Job. Whatever Allah pleased to let happen to me, I'm satisfied. I mean, I was thinking about the brother came over there. I was sitting up in here. What was I doing? I was on the phone with another brother, talking about some of the things I'm displeased about with some people, and then I got a banging on the door. I said, "Now who is this?" And I said, "What are you banging on the door?" He said, "The building's on fire." And this is Brother Jamar. He told me the building's on fire. I looked out there and the building fire just jumping all out the building. And so I said, "Well, let's run around here and get this water hose here." Got the water hose and it didn't half order work. And I said, "Boy, this is." It was kind of funny. We had all these things in the building on fire, what that we could do. And so, I know you say, "What you laughing about?" Well, when bad stuff happened to you, you can either sit down and cry, or you can remember all of the blessings that Allah has bestowed upon you and just take it in stride, as Job did. They came to him one bad news after another. Your sons got killed. Your herds got taken. Everything. And Job said, "Well, the Lord gave and the Lord took it away." He didn't say, "Why God let this happen to me?" In the first place, subordinates know that their Lord or their superior does not have to tell them why when he give them an order or why he do something. When the angels asked Allah, so you say you're gonna place a ruler in the earth. That's just like saying another ruler. You're the ruler. He's saying we celebrate your praise and extol your holiness. And he said, "It's all right. I know what you don't know." They didn't say another word. Not another word. He didn't go through no long, drawn-out explanation with them. Allah don't have to explain to me why he let something happen to me. I mean, I was thinking about this Camp Lejeune stuff. They poisoned us when we was in the military back in. I was at Camp Lejeune back in 71, and I didn't know they was benzene and stuff was in the water. They didn't tell us nothing about that. We there just drinking and showering in it and doing some of everything. I don't see where it's done hurt me, but Allah did say that no, if you drink any deadly thing, it shall not harm you. So that's why I'm still here. So, he also said, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." Well, I ain't worried about these nuts walking around here with their guns and stuff. Talking about what they gonna do to me. You ain't gonna do nothing to me that Allah don't let you do. And if he let you do it, well, that's his business. I ain't like these Donald Trump and Farrakhan stand up there talking about if something happened to me, it gonna be this and that. If something happened to me, you just gonna keep on living, brother. Because if Allah wanted something to happen to me, wasn't nothing I could do about it. And you couldn't do nothing about it either. You don't go out here acting a fool because somebody shot me down. If they shot me down, then I ain't the son of man. Now, all right? Them niggas, see, I told you niggas come in all colors. Right there trying to send people out in the street because you a crook. You a crook. Them young men with the FBI that went in there and raided that place, to hell with them people that's calling you cussing and calling that. They ain't nothing but a bunch of cowards. Ain't nothing but a bunch of cowards. And I'm going to tell you something else. Them young men that joined the FBI and the CIA and stuff, those people are patriots. They ain't scared of you. You know, they used to have a saying, when people be talking about what they're going to do to you. They say, well, when you feel froggish, just leave. Do you understand? It's an old saying. You better wake up, boy. You can't come after my behind and leave yours at home. Even Batman told Superman, do you bleed? What did he tell him? I know something about you that makes you just as vulnerable as me. I think you flesh and blood just like me. And I would tell as I said, I'm on their side. They didn't do nothing to Donald Trump that Donald Trump didn't deserve. He was crooked, and they investigated him and found something. Let me let you see something here.
Casually.
I likes to prove things when I say them. I don't like to just say something. I like to give you some proof of the things that I say. So, I was just looking at the news this evening when I was. No, I wasn't sitting down brooding over that building. It's gone. All my clothes was in there. A whole lot of stuff was in there. Well, when stuff get on my nerves, something bad happened to me, I don't sit up there dwelling on that. I was so glad my daddy taught me not to be sitting down pouting. You get your little behind out here, I'll give you something to pout for. So I, I just, I ain't got no time to be worrying about stuff that I can't do nothing about. No, I'm thankful for this building here. It's not like I'm outdoors. I would have preferred it still be there, but it ain't. So Allah gave it to us, and Allah took it. So I'm satisfied. So now watch this.
Then we got to last night.
What you doing, man? Pay attention. That's not on that's on the TV. Get it up there. I want the people to see this. See, they get so. Yeah, I got it on pause.
Trump's lawyer, Christina Bob, was on something, God knows what this is, something called Real America's Voice.
Y'all just give me a minute here. My technicians, they got lost in what I was saying. So usually when I put something up there, he have it up there for me. But it was on the news here, brother. What's the problem? You can't switch because you cut the phone off, or what? Well, you know what's supposed to be connected, so connect it. No, I ain't took nothing to lose. So don't just be blaming it on me. That's something, man. Every time something don't go right, it's the fault of somebody who don't know nothing about it. The one that know everything about it, he don't know what's happening with it. But all of a sudden, it's all my fault. Boy, this is something. I tell you, boy, when it rains, it pours. My building done burnt down. I lost all my clothes. And now here he come telling me that it's my fault that the electric stuff don't work. I mean, man, some days it don't do you no good to get out of bed. I remember the messenger was teaching, and he said, "Come on, brother, let's get it now. Figure it out." The messenger said he started making. He was talking about how people didn't donate, and he said that last Sunday, there was over 2,000 people here, and not even $1 apiece did they give. And he said, "I tell you what, if you do that again, we're gonna go to your house and eat." And he said, "Don't think you can out eat the Muslim." Ain't nobody did nothing. That came off my chair. That power thing is to my chair. That ain't got nothing to do with you. But anyway, he said, "We're going to go to your house and eat." And then he told him, he said, "Is this thing here plugged up?" Yeah, it's all there. But anyway, he said, "Well, you know, you go out here saying, well, whenever you don't think he's going to get much, he turned the meeting into humor." He said, "But when he get a big crowd, he start digging up all the science that he could teach." And so, you know, you don't hardly hear me stand around joking too much. I have a peculiar sense of humor. I know that. I'm trying to kill some time here. You know, I hate killing time. You know, passing time here. But I did want you to see this, to show you that you people that think that you, like that foolish man that went there with a nail gun trying to attack the I don't know what this thing doing ringing. Did you disconnect me from a room? Huh? Okay. Yeah, they told me I'm out. I'm finna get back in there. All right. May Allah assalamu alaikum. today?
All they had to do was ask Trump, he would have given it, and wow, if they really thought it was serious, they should have subpoenaed them, and then they found out.
Just a moment, let me back it up just a little bit. As Montague used to say, give me 4 more bars.
Gravely concerning, and I'll tell you this, many of us in the national security community and those of us who work in the Trump administration, we worried about this.
Right.
We worried about the fact that there were...
This lady that's talking now, she was one of Mike Pence's aides during that Trump presidency. I'm gonna let you hear her whole statement here, because you know, this show you how foolish you was to discard or disregard a woman president simply because she was a woman. I mean, you listen to this woman talking. I remember the messenger told us about our women. He said, brother, don't take her for nothing, because she's something too. Some of them can lead some of us. He said, for they're wise too, because you made them wise. Do you understand? Don't no smart man, no intelligent man, he's not going to have a dumb woman. Anyway, but listen.
Right, that's bottom line number one, is that...
I'm going to let it start from the beginning. Olivia,
Look, I mean, at first I have to...
Top secret documents they had to cut the...
well, I got to see what it led into it. You know, it's just that important.
Of the inventory, so anybody gets a kind of picture of this. I'm just going to read through this. This is a totally intriguing document. It is also a very vague document. It raises way more questions than it answers, but it certainly answers a few questions, as we discussed prior. The number of indications that secret things at various levels of classification are in. So it starts with this executive grant of clemency to Roger Stone. That's the first thing in there, and then there's this reference to Info-Re, the president of France. Again, that's going to be my obsession for a while. We've got boxes of documents. The first mention of that TSSCI classified documents that we talked about with Ben Rhodes in the first block of the show. Potential presidential records, binders of photos, handwritten notes, boxes that all it says how they're labeled. Then you get to you start to get into the miscellaneous secret documents. That's 10A, 11A, miscellaneous top secret documents, more top secret documents, more confidential documents, secret documents. You really are, like, as you start working your way through the latter half of this list, you have a bunch of boxes that said where there's no information whatsoever, and then all of a sudden you hit these repeated references to either confidential document or documents, secret document or documents, and top secret document or documents. That gets you all the way down to the 28th entry down here, which is, again, miscellaneous. It says top secret documents. They had to cut the E off there. Olivia, you were in a position where you came across documents. We talked about this a little bit in the last block, but you came across documents at all this level of classification when you worked for Vice President Pence. And when you look at that length of that list, and you look at the number of times that things at various level of classification pop up, various levels of secrecy, again, we can't draw a lot of conclusions, but I think we can draw some conclusions. I'm curious what conclusions you draw as you look at both the scope of it and the variety of it, and how it matches up with the laws that are invoked as justifications for this warrant.
Look, I mean, at first I have to say, like, is there anything he didn't take? I mean, other than, he didn't take the kitchen sink. There seems to be a lot of stuff missing here between text messages, call logs. There's a lot of things that disappears, it seems, in Trump's orbit here, and now we've got boxes of stuff that really has no business being down in Mar-a-Lago. And the fact, look, the bottom line is, none of these documents should be down there, right? That's bottom line number one, is that these are presidential records, these are government records, these are government stuff. Even the photos should have been left intact. And if he wanted it, there could have been special requests done from it. But gravely more concerning, right, of grave concern, is the fact that this is top secret government information possibly in these documents that if it fell into the wrong hands, it could be very damaging and dangerous to our country, and it could expose all sorts of information about people, locations, weapons, information across the board that has taken a long time to develop here. And so I'm going to tell you, look, there's a responsibility as a national security person and as an intelligence officer to handle this information as appropriate. I'll tell you, I found classified information in the ladies' room of the White House one time in the Eisenhower Executive Office Building, and I immediately walked it right up to security and said, I just found this in the bathroom. I covered it up. I put it in a folder. It wasn't marked properly. The folder wasn't, because I was not expecting to walk in the ladies' room and find a document like that. But I marched right up. I gave him my name. I gave him the information. I said, I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't track how it got there. I'm happy to sit down and discuss it. And that is a level of effort that when you're an intelligence officer, you have a responsibility to really protect this information. And so the fact that these boxes were just sitting down there in a place where a lot of foreigners tend to traffic there, lots of traffic in that area, where clearly, prime target for counterintelligence operations and things like that. And again, I'll say this: what information is there about international sources? And also, we have intelligence exchanges with our foreign partners. I am sure that people like the UK, people like France, and other partners are sitting there thinking, what information is possibly in those and who has gotten a hold of it now? And look, this information, I'll tell you this, when it comes to the compartment, there's things that for people like me who had high clearances, and I've worked at the Department of Energy, I'm familiar with nuclear information and things like that. You go in, you sign, and you read it, right. You walk out. You don't just roll out with it and carry it back to your office. That's the type of sort of protection that you are expected to carry out and exhibit. And so I just think that this is all very gravely concerning, and I'll tell you this, many of us in the national security community and those of us who work in the Trump administration, we worried about this. Right. We worried about the fact that there was clearly not a great understanding by the president of how to handle this information when Trump was in office, and we worried about the fact that he would just disclose things in conversations, right? And you didn't know what he was going to say. And so clearly there was a disconnect across the board here of the importance of this type of information and how to protect it.
So, Neil, I have a series of questions that I'm going to start with Neil. I'm going to go to Phil, and then I'm going to get to Ben, because Ben maybe has the most serious element of this. But I do want to review our week in some sense. It's been a bad week for right-wing gas bags. If you're either an elected Republican or someone who lives in the fever swamp of Fox News and even the areas that are further right than that, you said a lot of things this week. You said, this was not a small thing, doesn't relate to anything. All they had to do was ask Trump, he would have given it. And wow, if they really thought it was serious, they should have subpoenaed him. And then they found out, okay, there was a subpoena, he defied the subpoena. The worst example of all of it was the planting evidence meme, started by Donald Trump himself and taken up by Republican Congress people, many of them, a couple of senators, including Rand Paul, and everybody in right-wing media, everybody, right? Then we got to last night, where Donald Trump's lawyer, Christina Bob, was on something, God knows what this is, something called Real America's Voice.
You all, pardon us a moment. Let me. Just a moment. That's not on my PC. That's on my DirecTV. Just give me a minute here. I got to bring it back up. I have to start it back from the beginning.
Or signals intelligence.
all they had to do was ask Trump, he would have given it, and well,
and it folded it now. I mean, and it, look, this information, I'll tell you this, when it comes to the compartment, there's things that, for people like me, who had high clearances, and I've worked at the Department of Energy, I'm familiar with nuclear information, things like that. You go in, you sign, and you read it,
right.
You walk out. You don't just roll out with it and, carry it back to your office. That's the type of sort of protection that you are expected to carry out and exhibit. And so I just think that this is all very gravely concerning, and I'll tell you this, many of us in the national security community and those of us who work in the Trump administration, we worried about this.
Right.
We worried about the fact that there was clearly not a great understanding by the president of how to handle this information when Trump was in office, and we worried about the fact that he would just disclose things in conversations, right? And you didn't know what he was going to say. And so clearly there was a disconnect across the board here of the importance of this type of information and how to protect it.
So, Neil, I have a series of questions that I'm going to start with Neil, I'm going to go to Phil, and then I'm going to get to Ben, because Ben maybe has the most serious element of this. But I do want to review our week in some sense. It's been a bad week for right-wing gas bags. If you were either an elected Republican or someone who lives in the fever swamp of Fox News and even the areas that are further right than that, you said a lot of things this week. You said, this was not a small thing, doesn't relate to anything. All they had to do was ask Trump, he would have given it. And wow, if they really thought it was serious, they should have subpoenaed them. And then they found out, okay, there was a subpoena, he defied the subpoena. The worst example of all of it was the planting evidence meme, started by Donald Trump himself and taken up by Republican congresspeople, many of them, a couple of senators, including Rand Paul, and everybody in right-wing media, everybody, right? Then we got to last night, where Donald Trump's lawyer, Christina Bobb, was on something, God knows what this is, something called Real America's Voice, and she said this about Donald Trump's being able to watch the actual search of Mar-a-Lago. Let's watch this.
I think the folks in New York, President Trump and his family, probably had a better view than I did because they had the CCTV that they were able to watch. They were actually able to see the whole thing, so they actually have a better idea of what took place inside.
So here's the president's lawyer, Neil, the president who's basically said, we were not allowed to see, it was all done behind closed doors. She comes out and says on television that, yeah, there's actually a closed-circuit television thing. The president and the first lady were watching it all on TV the entire time. They had a better view than I did, and I was on the premises. I ask you, given what we now know is in the warrant and what's in the inventory, is there any possibility that we'll be able to the facts now that they're coming out that will be able to that this will stop, that some of these things are pernicious, some are funny. Obviously this lawyering on behalf of Donald Trump is terrible, but is there some chance that now that we know more that some of these people will find it impossible to make some of the ludicrous claims that filled the air for much of this week?
I mean, John, I almost feel bad for all these Republicans who've hitched their wagon to Donald Trump even in the face of, stuff early this week, and just, made these cockamamie arguments about planted evidence or abusive search or this or that, and now realize, boy, these things are fizzling. And Trump's own lawyer, as you say, just completely undid any notion of planted evidence. They were watching it while, and she was of course on the scene at the same time as the search warrant was being executed. The idea that, it's so irresponsible what these folks are saying about, the FBI and endangering their lives, and it looks like perhaps Donald Trump's team leaked to conservative media the unredacted warrant today with the names of the FBI agents who are now being, attacked on social media and hopefully, will be physically safe in the days to come. But this is a really tragic thing. The other thing I just want to point out is we've so far talked in the show about what was found at Mar-a-Lago, but the search warrant actually has this other crime that I mentioned at the outset of the show, 18 U.S.C. 1519, which covers the destruction or falsification of records in a federal investigation. So that to me suggests it's not just what was that they found at Mar-a-Lago, but what they didn't find.
Right.
And with Trump, he's so into his cover-ups, and it's not just what he does, which is always often problematic, but it's what he does afterwards to try and prevent the investigation. Whether it's firing Jim Comey or whatever. So if just reading between the tea leaves here, it looks like maybe the government thinks Trump was destroying some documents, which now don't exist at all. So there's two different sets of crimes here, both what he took and retained and they found, but also what he took and might have destroyed. That latter one is a really, really serious crime of 20 years in jail per violation.
So Ben, I gotta say, I don't know what prescription medications you take to keep yourself sane and healthy, because you spend all this time basically in not just in the fever swamps, but in the fever sewers of the right, the worst possible place on the internet you can ever spend.
I'm deeply in debt to the Tecate Corporation.
Yeah. I feel for you, brother, but I'm glad you're there because you see things coming that a lot of us don't see, because a lot of the stuff that we had ultimately faced in the mainstream comes out of those quadrants. We have seen the judge attacked in anti-Semitic ways. He got doxxed. Judge Reinhardt, a host on Fox News, went on television last night and presented a picture of him in this moment when people are trying to kill him. People in some of these forums saying they want to hang him, they want to see him garroted. The Fox News host goes on and puts up an image of him superimposed on Jeffrey Epstein's body. Very responsible, for sure. You are also, there's all of that. There's a lot of seething, simmering, bad stuff happening. You've been focused on another element of that, which is that these FBI agents who went into Mar-a-Lago, the same.
Let me explain something to you. Evil people, when people who are trying to be good or people who are trying to do what is right, when they stand up against evil people, the only thing the evil man has is he hopes he can put enough fear in you to make you cow to him. Do you understand? And the scripture says this: if God be for us, who can be against us? If God be with us for success, who can be successful against us? Huh? You don't look. Beg your pardon? We'll get it up there. Okay, Moses was afraid of Pharaoh until he saw the power of God. Do you understand? Don't be afraid of people talking about what they gonna do to you, because they are afraid of what you doing to them. Do you understand? You see, wrong hate to see right coming. Do you understand? You ain't never seen a bank robber glad to see the police. I didn't hear you. He wants to get out of there before the police get there. Well, you see, it's a whole lot of things that many times a person think that because they are respited, that they was getting away. Now, it's something that Mitch McConnell said, that regardless of what he meant by it, Allah still made him say it. He said Donald Trump has not gotten away with it yet. Did you hear that? You remember when he stood up there and said that? He has not gotten away with anything yet. This is the man who called the American justice system a joke. You know why he called it a joke? He called it a joke because he felt that, in his own words, it's too slow. Do you understand? But there's an old saying: you give a fool enough rope, and he will hang himself. I didn't hear you. What do you mean? Give him enough rope? You let him think that you ain't paying him no attention, huh? You know, if you stop a man in a powerful position too fast, if you stop him too fast, he can claim ignorance. He can claim that you picking on him. He can claim that he really didn't mean what you trying to suggest he meant. Do you understand? But why would Donald Trump take top secret papers away from the government to his own house, to his dwelling place? Why would he do that? I mean, it's like, I mean, why would Donald Trump try to appoint a new the head of the Joint Chiefs? The head of the Pentagon, the man that would have been over there. He tried to install another attorney general. I mean, this is after he lost an election, but he was finishing out his term. Why was he still trying to put other people in power? What was that for? What could it have been for? Why was he in such a hurry to get up there, like Rudy Giuliani had said, that he will look powerful? What was going to make him look powerful? You see, these are things that you see all of his actions kind of lead you up to ask these questions. They are questions that can only be answered by what someone had already done. Do you understand what I mean by that? Don't no sane man. You remember when they told him that there are people out there with guns? He said, get rid of the metal detectors. They're not here to harm me. What? What? So he knew they was there to harm somebody, but not him. That was his own words. You know, when it's certain things that you say that says things about what you were thinking. Do you understand? You see, the man is a criminal. But he's just what the scripture says, a fugitive and a vagabond. A fugitive is a man, a woman, that justice has not yet caught up with. They're on the run. You notice, what does he do when he's got to go to court? He runs. He stalls. He likes the slowness of the wheels of justice. That's why he called it the justice system a joke. He said we need swift justice. Now, where is swift justice? You know what swift justice is? That's what mobs do. Lynch mobs do. They call it justice. But it's actually the justice of a child's mind. You know why it's called swift? It's because when you don't have much going on up there in your brain in the first place, it don't take you long to come to a decision. Do you understand? I mean, I'm trying to show you, man, you couldn't have never ruled me if I hadn't been dead. When I say dead, I mean sleep in my mind. It wasn't that you were so smart. I was just so dumb. But I ain't dumb no more. I ain't deaf no more either. How you know I ain't deaf no more? You know, the slave master used to boast himself Now, if the shoe fit, just wear it. The slave master used to boast to himself how he could just talk right out in the open in front of us, and we didn't hear a word he was saying. See, to hear means to understand. If what a person is saying to you is not coherent, or if it is not language that you understand, well then you are deaf right out there thinking you can hear. You got ears, but you can't hear. I didn't hear you. A cow can hear you talking. They'll walk over there by the fence, look right up at you. Horses will do it too. And you be having a conversation, they walk over there, and you, that horse can't take part in that conversation with you. He's just a dumb beast. Do you understand? That's what we were, dumb beasts to slave masters. They had mastered the art of enslaving others, of deceiving others. I'm trying to teach you the language here. You get a master's degree in something, it's because you become very knowledgeable of that thing. Do you understand? So look how many people he done got to work for him and talked them into working for him, and then stiffed them at the end. Didn't give them all that they went to banks and borrowed money. This has been in the news. You heard it. Same as me. Go to a bank, borrow money, and then tell them, if you don't take this, I'm going to have to declare bankruptcy. Don't never want to give them back what he owe them. He always want to give less than his due. Do you understand? And he calls that he's smart. He's an artist at making deals. And now the banks done woke up that the first rule in dealing with the devil is don't loan him nobody. Just don't deal with him. But anyway, I'm saying these things. For instance, there's white people out there that hate me, but they can't justify it. That's the problem. If he had any justification for his hatred of me, he'd come in here and talk that talk. Do you understand? It's kind of hard to justify hating somebody. The scriptures say it's hard to kick against the pricks. And people wore sandals in them days. You don't want to kick against somebody that's sharp. You see, just like me, I hear when I know people hate me and whatnot, I listen to them much closer than I listen to people that are my friends. The Godfather taught you that, but I knew that already. You keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Meaning what? Listen to your friends close, but listen closer to your enemies. Because sometimes your enemies will tell you a truth that your friends won't say because they don't want to hurt your feelings. Every knock can be a boost if you got sense enough to listen when people talking to you. They can help you be a better person, even though that may not be their intent. Do you understand? Most people that criticize other people in this world, it ain't because they're trying to help you. They do it because they want to make you look small and make you feel bad and all that kind of thing. But when I criticize people, I'm trying to make them better. I ain't trying to destroy white people. I'm trying to make them better. They ain't got sense enough to appreciate it. But that's not my fault. Allah told me, he said, warn them, son of man, whether they hear you or forbear. I warned them that Donald Trump was going to try to destroy their government. I told them what he meant when he said drain the swamp. He means he going to get rid of your government. They didn't believe me. They believe me now. Even Dick Cheney believed me now. Oh, yeah. And you notice, ain't none of them say, oh, you ain't told us nothing. All you have to do is go back and get the tapes. I even told you, Donald Trump he's not intelligent enough to mean other than what I told you. Donald Trump, he's one of them people that he always think he know more than everybody. He said he's a stable genius, is what he calls himself. You know, I mean, you never hear him say he was wrong about anything. And you know what the old people used to tell me when I was a little boy? He say, come here, young blood. That was him, young blood. He said, you show me a man that ain't never made a mistake, and I'll show you a man that ain't never did nothing. I didn't hear you. Now, I remember that quote from a long time ago. And you know, when you make mistakes, you have to acknowledge it if you don't intend to keep on doing it. I didn't hear you. And you know, and you oft times, you know, just like I teach you all. Look, it ain't one of us that ain't let something slip out of our mouth that we shouldn't let come out of our mouth. How you recover from that is with an apology and say, I was wrong, I didn't have to say that. Do you understand? Because we done all did it. I mean, the scripture tells me, it said, give not heed. Meaning, don't pay attention to every word that come out of a person's mouth, lest you hear your servant curse you. You know what that means? Somebody who's truly your friend may inadvertently say something about you that they shouldn't. You understand? I mean, look, man, I knew that was the truth. I loved my mama, but when I was a youngster, sometimes my mother wouldn't let me do something I wanted to do, and I'd call her a name under my breath and that kind of thing. I didn't mean for her to hear that. I didn't mean it. I just, you know. Do you understand? So, I mean, that's what a weak mind will do. But as you know how you get stronger, you recognize your weakness and you correct it. You don't try to justify it. You correct it. You know, a man was asked by somebody who claimed to believe in God. Here they thinking about voting for this man for president. He tells them he ain't never, you know, it's a hard question to ask me, have I ever asked for forgiveness? The man was asked, did you ever ask God for forgiveness? Have you ever asked God for forgiveness? That's a hard question to Donald Trump. See, when you ask for forgiveness, it means you're sorry for something you did. It's just like when a brother asked me once, is Donald Trump the devil? I said, no, he ain't the devil. I spoke too soon. Because I understood the question to mean, that's not the question that he asked me. He didn't ask me, was Donald Trump the only devil? He asked me, was Donald Trump the devil? And I took it as though he was asking me, was Donald Trump the only one who is a devil of white people? No, he wasn't the only one. And I just simply told him no. You know, because I really didn't pay that close attention to what he was asking me. Because you see, Donald Trump is one of many. He's not the only one that hates this country. What you think them people meant, like Marjorie Taylor Greene and all of them, talking about this is going to be 1776 again, and that kind of thing. What? Who won and who lost in 1776? The people that they call left, the left, the liberals, the people who was against slavery and the people who was against a lot of the injustices that was being done, they won the war. Do you understand? The people who thought like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump and them, look at what Donald Trump, he was praising Hitler's generals, and one of the General Milley, or one of them, told him Hitler's generals tried to kill him. Even Rommel, that was the Desert Fox. Yeah, I know a little bit about it, history. Rommel and them was trying to kill Hitler. Do you understand? They loved Germany, and they saw that they had backed the wrong horse. But Hitler had so many clones and wannabes and lazy, really lazy people that saw a chance to ride on top of other people's back, as long as they just, and they had murder in their heart anyway. Why would you take 6 million people? You go along with a man murdering people and blaming them for troubles that you had before you knew anything about them people. I didn't hear you. But you went along with it because he gave you a chance, because you was bloodthirsty. Why you think David said, "Depart from me, therefore, you bloody men"? Huh? Yeah, you're a bunch of bloodthirsty cowards. Takes a lot of bravery to go and get unarmed people, men, women, and children that are not aggressing, they are not combative, and you go and march them into the ovens and march them to go and murder them. That took a lot of bravery, didn't it? And these was not black people. Jew is not a race. It's a religion. The people, you look at Benjamin Netanyahu and some of them Jewish people, with your Michael Landon, Lauren Green, and all of them, you saw Bonanza and all of that, them was Jews. You didn't see no real difference in them and any other white man. You look at the average Russian white man, they have a little different look about themselves, but they're all white folks. Hitler was raising hell in Europe, killing white people, while claiming to believe in white supremacy. You know what white supremacy really meant? Survival of the fittest white man. To hell with everybody else, because they knew that it was their time to rule, and they was told to go and subdue the earth. So all of them got busy competing with each other to subdue everybody. Huh? Before they let black people into boxing, who was in the boxing ring beating on each other? Dumb white people. I'm just telling you, you got to be pretty dumb just for somebody to put you in the ring and tell you to go in there and knock him out. I'm gonna pay you. Well, it's the truth, man. We was just dumb. It wasn't that he was so smart. It was that everybody else had been put to sleep. The scripture says that. Now look, white people, all you white people that's listening, I want you to understand something. This forum, to any minister or any scholar of Caucasian people, I would love to have you come in here and express your disagreement with anything that I'm saying, and I will let you be the host, which means you'll be in charge of this meeting, and I will be your guest. And the only thing that I will require of you is what I require of myself, and that is When someone raised their hand, or whenever anyone disagree or have a question, I stop and let them question me and let them put forth their arguments, as long as their arguments are respectful and they truly do have an argument. I'm not talking about someone who wants to come in here and throw insults and give their personal opinions. A personal opinion is not an argument. An argument is a fact that cannot be disputed. Do you understand? If a person says 9 times 50 is 500, then I can argue with that, because 9 times 50 is 450. 9 times 50 is not 500. 10 times 50 is 500. So now, and that's a fact. You see, we can check that. Do you understand? You see, so I'm not the person who just stand up and say something. I'm a person who gives facts. And if I paraphrase something and you say, no, they never said no such thing, I'll go find it on tape and let you hear it. And generally it's worse than what I said. You see, but most of you already heard it. You get your selective amnesia. I don't remember that. I don't remember that. Yeah, I know you don't. Liars most of the time don't remember what they said. Because in order to remember what you said, it has to be connected to something in your memory. It has to have roots to it. You see, that's why when a person tells the truth, it don't make no difference how long you wait to ask them about that same thing again. When you ask them that same question again, if they told you the truth, you're going to get the same answer, basically. Do you understand? Because the answer has roots. It has rooted itself through memory. Do you understand? Through reality. Through actually happening. But when people lie, that's spur of the moment. That's like props on a stage. You know, they're getting ready to do a scene, and they move some props out there real quick. Make it look like you in a town when it ain't nothing but fronts. It's being held up by sticks behind it, propping it up. you understand? It ain't rooted into the ground. It ain't on no foundation or nothing. It's just made up. And that's what people do when they lie. When they, you remember Donald Trump's people was saying that they didn't want him to go and be deposed by Bob Mueller because that was a perjury trap. And the people that's following him didn't even understand that they was acknowledging that Donald Trump can't tell the truth. He gonna lie. Because, anyone who goes and sit for a deposition, if they intend on telling you the truth, they don't call that deposition no perjury trap. They glad that they can get it out. Because if the truth is in your favor, you want the truth out there. Do you understand? You see, these people. Some of y'all is truly dumb, and some of you just playing crazy. I know the difference. If I talk to you a little while, I bet you I can tell which one of you it is. That's why you don't want to come in here and talk to me no more. Even the director of the Klan, he didn't want to come back in here no more. Because he was afraid I was about to start asking him questions that he knew he couldn't weasel his way through the answer. you see. So, and some of my poor people, they hate me for being wise. That's what they hate me for. Allah has made me wise, and they upset. Even though I'm on their side to do right. They don't want to hear it. That nigga say he the Lord. Well, I told you I'll give you $50,000 if you can prove I'm not. Well, I mean, what more can I say? Whoever offers you that kind of money to prove that they wasn't what they claimed to be. I had a brother send me but anyway, let's get to this tape here. Just a moment.
Is happening with them where people are trying to.
See, when I get on people, they are, and some of these here, now he told me that thing wasn't working, but it's working, you know. But that's one way to get out from under the gun. The thing broke. It wasn't broke. I knew it wasn't broke. It was working fine the last time we tried this. So, but you know, me and him, we laugh at each other sometimes.
First lady were watching it all on TV the entire time. They had a better view than I did, and I was on the premises. I ask you, you know, given what we now know is in the warrant and what was in the inventory, is there any possibility that we'll be able to the facts now that they're coming out that we'll be able to that this will stop? That some of these things are pernicious, some are funny. Obviously, this lawyering on behalf of Donald Trump is terrible. But is there some chance that now that we know more, that there will be that some of these people will find
Listen to what Donald Trump's lawyer told him. I mean, this was really funny.
Because they had the
everybody in right-wing media, everybody, right? Then,
just a moment. This is what I wanted to show you, and I missed it. And
I'm going to go to Phil, and then I'm going to get to Ben, because Ben's maybe has the most serious element of this. But I do want to review our week in some sense. It's been a bad week for right-wing gas bags. You know, if you were either an elected Republican or someone who lives in the fever swamp of Fox News and even the areas that are further right than that, you said a lot of things this week. You said, this was not a small thing, doesn't relate to anything. All they had to do was ask Trump, he would have given it. And wow, if they really thought it was serious, they should have subpoenaed him. And then they found out, okay, there was a subpoena, he defied the subpoena. The worst example of all of it was the planting evidence meme, started by Donald Trump himself and taken up by Republican Congress people, many of them, a couple of senators, including Rand Paul, and everybody in right-wing media, everybody, right? Then we got to last night.
Well, just a moment. Before I let that go, it's something I need to tell you, my people, black people, y'all that look like me, because all people on earth is black people, but all of you that look like me. Be on your guard against people who get paid to come out that look like you, but get sent out there to say something stupid and get paid for it so that it can be used against you because all they care about is money. It's just like, if you think people like that don't exist, you just seen a president, this man didn't give a damn about the United States, and he was the president of the United States. And you see people in Congress that don't give a damn about the United States. I mean, how in the world can you say that you care about the United States and you sitting in Congress, which is the law-making body? That's what Congress has the power to do. Make law. And the very people who's sitting up in the law-making body attacking the FBI for investigating people who break the law. You better wake up, man. You claim you love your country. Well, you about to lose it. Your cowardice is going to cause you to lose your country. You know why those people keep calling y'all, threatening you? Because they done pegged you as a coward. What is his name? What's your name, nigga? Where do you live? You so brave. Give us your name and address, and let's see. Look. If you are a coward, the messenger told us this. He said, if you are a coward, you just well to go get you a shotgun and blow your family's brains out and blow yours out too. And he told us don't be getting no guns. But he gave you a coward's way out. Just go on and commit suicide, because they're going to kill you anyway. So just take your own life. Because if you had the kind of love in your heart that you should have for your family and your country, perfect love casteth out fear. Yeah. You know what your biggest problem is? You ain't never had a whooping before. Because if you had ever been in a fight and got whooped, whoopings ain't so bad, especially when you got a few good licks in. I didn't hear you. And generally, every fight, I can't remember a fight that I had to have again. Well, yes, I can remember one. But it didn't go the same way that it went when I started it. And he didn't get that good lick in on me no more, because I had a reason to fight when we fought again, because I didn't start it. But I knew he maybe thought that from that point on, after he almost knocked me out, that anytime he got ready to get mad at somebody or whatever, he'd figure out something to get mad at me about. But I was going to break him up from that. Do you understand? So, but anyway, most of the fights that I had, and even with that one, we developed a mutual respect which appeared to be friendship. We didn't fight that much no more. Do you understand? When people know you will fight back, I guarantee you, don't nobody want to get into no. How long Russia and the U.S. been dancing around each other? They didn't really want to go to war with each other. Why? because it ain't no fun winning if you got to pay too high a price to do so. You understand? Yeah, man. Dude. So, when people love their country and love their brothers and sisters, if you got any sense, you don't bother them people. Because now if you a fool, well, you can always tell people that love one another. Because when other people point to them that might would have bothered them, say, no, don't mess with them. And they be pointing at one man. But why they say them? Because they know if you mess with one of them, all of them coming after you. Yeah. It's just like a police officer. He ain't by himself. He just may be riding by himself, but that radio will fix that. And they coming too. They ain't going to be slow about getting that. They going to be there. Do you understand? So consequently, for the most part, they are safe until recently, because they let people come into their departments in certain parts of the country and misrepresent that badge and that uniform. And you know what? It's just like on Billy Jack. When the people who was wearing badges and uniforms became criminals, they put a line in that movie. It said, when those who are supposed to enforce the law break the law, then there is no law, just a struggle for survival. In other words, it's the jungle law. Do you understand? So, I'm telling you, it's just like me. I'm not going to have followers that misrepresent what I stand for. I catch you out there doing that, you out of here. I told you, you can't stop people from hating you, but you can sure stop it from being justified. You don't hear no white people coming in here accusing me of being no terrorist. Then you don't hear no white people coming in here accusing me or my followers of breaking their peace. So he may hate us, but he ain't justified. I'm not the one trying to destroy his country. I'm the one told on the one who was going to destroy his country if he could. And that's what he's been working on still. While he's under investigation, he's still doing evil, still doing wrong, because he ain't got such little respect for you. Got you now attacking your Justice Department because they trying to defend your country. You are an idiot. The messenger once asked us a question. He said, well, black brother, when you help the white man kill all of your friends, who gonna help you against your enemies? Now, when you discourage all of these patriots in the FBI and the Department of Justice that's really trying to protect your country, who's going to defend it when you get through killing all of them? Now, you better go study history, white boy. You know what some of my fathers was doing while you was capturing us to make slaves out of us? You know what some of them was doing? A whole lot of them was doing it. Fought you till they got up on board and jumped overboard even with chains on. Rather die than to get up under you. They just did not know prophecy. Because if they had known prophecy, some of them, they went on and submitted. Because when God says something going to happen, ain't no sense in you talking about no, it ain't. Remember Peter? Jesus revealed to him that he was going to, after telling him he'd give his life for him, Jesus said, will you die for me? Before the cock crow, you're going to be done denied me 3 times. No, not me. Not me, he said. No, not me. Huh? And what happened? Before the cock crowed. After he did it the 3rd time, he heard the chicken. Huh? He heard the rooster. And, excuse me for saying chicken. He heard the rooster. And he thought about it. He just, he had to drop his head in shame. Huh? When messengers of God tell you something, and you say, no, that ain't going to be, that proves to them you don't believe they the messenger of God. Do you understand? The messenger of God is the messenger of the truth. The truth comes sometimes in a dream or in a vision. But it comes. Now, where does it come from? Before I think Mr. Bluford was on that Challenger when it, was he? Okay. Well, the astronaut, Mr. Bluford, when they did an interview with him once, he said until he went out in space, he thought, see, that's the one thing we don't have to do is go back and forth about something. They got Google and Bing and all that kind of stuff. I think it was 7 astronauts on Challenger when it blew up. But anyway, Mr. Bluford, when he was interviewed, he, I don't know if he was a captain or a colonel or, what his rank was. But he said he used to think that lightning was a random occurrence on Earth until he went out in space and looked back at the Earth and he saw that lightning is constantly happening all around the Earth, in different places, but it's constantly happening. And, it's just like I told you, the Earth, the Holy Quran says, when the Earth is stretched and casts forth what's in it and becomes empty and listens to its Lord and is made fit. Man, that's a deep saying, brother. And when they tell us that we are brain dead, it's because the electrical activity in our brain is almost non-existent, if not non-existent. One of y'all give me a little help there. What is brain dead? Jahara, you there? Can you go a little deeper in that? But you notice they say brain dead. What do you call it when your battery won't start your car? Why is it dead? Why do you say it's dead? Ain't enough electrical activity in it to get you going. Is that right? You see, thought is electrical activity in your brain. So we try to you check that to make sure ain't nobody trying to unmute their line and give me some help here. But so we have electrical activity constantly in our brain, which is the round part of our, you notice the brain is inside of your skull. Your skull is actually, it looks similar to the planet, if you understand. It's round. It's oval. Is that right? Yeah. And it's electrical activity going around inside of there. Is that right? And the brain has white and gray matter. Is that right? And what do the clouds form up there? White and gray, huh? Yeah. Now, the scripture says the earth belongs to the Lord. The earth is the Lord's. Well, if the earth is the Lord's, then you think the earth don't listen to his Lord? Well, the earth is listening to his Lord now. The ice still melting, ain't it? All right. And pestilences and famines is happening. What about the kingdom against kingdom? You ain't never heard no politician trying to tell doctors what they can and can't prescribe. Hey, that's crazy. Well, they're doing it. And judges telling the CDC what they can and cannot tell people to do to stop a pandemic. A judge.
Lincoln.
May wa alaikum ala salam.
Sorry about that. Yes, sir, you are correct on that. There is no electrical activity being sent between cells during brain death.
There you go. I mean, the earth is now listening to me. If you think the earth ain't listening to me, you can keep on clowning. You see? Yeah, you just wait. You know, I tell you what, Brother Jamal, how often do you and Khadijah look out over here during the day? Turn your mic on.
Not that often.
You know what I mean? What made you look out here yesterday?
She looked out the window and she saw some smoking. So
I mean that smoke could have came from anywhere.
yes, sir.
But why did that seem important for her to run up and tell you? Khadijah, what made you think that was important? Something did. How many times have you been sitting down and looked up and saw a big spider or something? What made you look up there? The Holy Quran has a statement that says, not a leaf falls, but he knows it. Haven't you ever you were sitting down and you looked at your hand because you saw a little orange thing sitting on a little speck, a little orange speck on there. But you felt it. And you saw it. The earth can feel us. The messenger said this. He said, I would hate to be one whom the earth didn't want on it. You notice white folks ain't saying nothing to me. How come they ain't saying that? Oh, nigga, you're crazy. Yeah. They found out I can throw them in hell. Something, if Allah wanted this building to burn down, he could just let y'all keep doing what you wanted. What you always do. You don't just be looking out over here. But something made you look over here. You see? As I told you, I was in here on the phone. I didn't hear nothing, didn't see nothing out there. But Allah saw it. You see? So, you know, I'm trying to show you it's our time. When it was white people's time and our time to be enslaved, it wasn't nothing we could do about that. No matter what we tried, it wasn't going to work. Allah wasn't going to let it work. And now, white people, you better hear me. No matter what you try to keep us from rising, it ain't going to work. And I told you, the only one you're going to be fighting is yourself. Now look what you're doing. You're fighting against people that you should be giving a medal to. You attacking the FBI for investigating. In other words, they were established by Congress and they were constitutionally established. What is the point of making laws if you ain't got nobody to enforce them? You used to understand that. You remember when that Negro, they had some Negroes standing up there talking about defund the police. Huh? Abolish the police. Do you honestly think those people really represented really what black people felt? No. I mean, people got paid to get out there and say something stupid like that. You know, you can find traitors everywhere. All you have to do is find somebody who loves money. When you find somebody who loves money, you done found somebody that can commit treason and can do things that you would have never dreamed they would do. Give me enough money, man. I'll try anything. That's what he said. Give me enough money, I'll try anything. That's what he said. You ain't got enough money to buy me. No. What profiteth a man to gain the whole world and then lose himself? You go after money and then you lose your soul. That's what y'all do. So I'm telling you, when you trust in Allah, Allah protects you. And He protects you by guiding you away from trouble. Do you understand? And letting those, you remember that cartoon, what's that, Tweety Bird and Snagglepuss? No, y'all don't remember that. Huh? Okay. You remember the little bird be going along, ain't bothering that cat, and he always there trying to do something, and always something happened to him. Huh? And the little bird said, I thought I saw it put it there. Huh? Yeah. When Allah is protecting you, woe to anybody who try to harm you. Why you think He said whoever fall on me was going to be crushed? And whoever was stupid enough to make me angry enough to fall on them will be ground to powder. Have you ever heard me attack anybody and have to take it back? Or be proven wrong? Why you think don't no white people come in here to try to argue with me? They know I ain't bluffing. I ain't bluffing. Whatever I call you, I can prove that that's what you are. Whatever I say about you, I can prove that it's true. And when I talk to you, you may think you can hide something from me, but you can't. By the time I finish talking with you and questioning you, I'll know all I need to know about what's in your heart. He has sounded forth the trumpet that shall never call retreat. He is sifting out the hearts of men. What are you doing when you're sifting? You asking questions. You want to find out what's in somebody's heart, you got to know what kind of question to ask. People tell you whatever you want to know if you know how to ask. Because most people, you know, it's like a good lawyer. By the time the person that's on the stand find out why questions was asked, they done already stepped into the trap. Do you understand? You know, you just can't. You know, that's what innocence and a case for innocence must be built. Guilt and a case for guilt must be built. Built where? In the minds of the jury or the jurist. You see? Now the jurists have to be just though. If the jurist is unjust, well, you don't hear no white people coming in here telling me I'm unjust. Black people either, no more. I think I'm the first one that ever told you what an Uncle Tom is. See, most people think that a black man that like white people, they call him Uncle Tom. That's not Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom is a black man that hates black people. You saw a good example of Uncle Tom with Stephen in Django. I mean, the liking people or loving white people ain't got nothing to do with Thomism. Stephen ain't care nothing about white folks. He's just scared of white folks. Do you understand? And he wanted to be white so bad. I'm just telling you now. Then he wouldn't have to be scared no more, you see. You remember when he talked to other black people, he could raise his voice. When he talked to white folks, he couldn't raise his voice, and that bothered him. Of course, he wasn't going to show it. Do you understand? So, I raise my voice to whoever I want to raise my voice to if I have a reason to raise my voice. It don't make me no difference who you are. Now, you had better learn to respect people. They had a saying when I was growing up, the elders, they used to say, you're going to meet the right one after a while. Now, I would advise all of you, if you want to go after those FBI agents, this is what you do. You prove that the evidence that they have, they didn't get it lawfully, and that Donald Trump wasn't the one that they got it from. If they got it out of his place, it wouldn't have been there if he didn't bring it there. I didn't hear you. Now, what was it doing there? Let me see here. Al Capone, Elliot Ness. Elliot Ness dealt with Al Capone. Huh? They've had people tough as you and tougher than you threaten them before. The FBI still here. Them bad actors, they ain't so plentiful no more. You're going to get enough of threatening people that's only trying to do what's right. You better learn to leave right doing people alone. Because I told you, I'm on their side. When they're trying to do what is right, I'm on their side. And if you know what's good for you, you leave them alone. Because I'm saying that not for their benefit, I'm saying it for yours. So they ain't going to promise you what they're going to do to you. You saw what happened to that boy that went up there with his nail gun and his M16 rifle. Where he at now? All right. I mean, he showed that he's not wrapped tight there. Because you assume, because you've been growling at people who were not trained, people who, you go around like a man go around beating up women. And the more he get away with it, the bolder he get. Until he meet a man. Then he find out that all that beating on women did one thing for him. Made him weak in his mind. If he used to could fight, he can't no more. Because he ain't been training against nobody. He been beating up women. Do you understand? Okay. All right. Now just remember, you started it. Now I told you, you're gonna get your blood bath, but it ain't gonna be like you think. You keep on. Just keep on pushing. You're gonna wish you had left them young men alone. So, and I say to the FBI agents, just do your job, man. To hell with what them people talking about. You know what that's about. Wolf tickets. You know what that's about. So, and if they stupid enough to pull what your boy did, put them where you put him. That's where you do that. They started it. Finish it. So, anyway, let's go back to this.
Donald Trump's lawyer, Christina Bob, was on something, God knows what this is, something called Real America's Voice. And she said this about Donald Trump's being able to watch the actual search of Mar-a-Lago. Let's watch this.
I think the folks in New York, President Trump and his family, probably had a better view than I did because they had the CCTV that they were able to watch. They were actually able to see the whole thing. So they actually have a better idea of what took place inside.
So here's the president's lawyer, Neil, the president who basically said, we were not allowed to see it. It was all done behind closed doors. She comes out and says on television that, yeah, there's actually a closed circuit television thing. The president and the first lady were watching it all on TV the entire time. They had a better view than I did, and I was on the premises. I ask you, given what we now know is in the warrant and what was in the inventory, is there any possibility that we'll be able to the facts now that they're coming out that will be able to that this will stop that some of these things are pernicious, some are funny. Obviously, this lawyering on behalf of Donald Trump is terrible. But is there some chance that now that we know more, that that some of these people will find it impossible to make some of the ludicrous claims that filled the air for much of this week?
I mean, John, I almost feel bad for all these Republicans who've hitched their wagon to Donald Trump, even in the face of, stuff early this week, and just, made these cockamamie arguments about planted evidence or abusive search or this or that, and now realize, boy, they really...
One of these days, they're going to wake up and stop calling them Republicans and just call them treasonous people. Liz Cheney is a Republican. Dick Cheney is a Republican. There's a whole lot of Republicans out there. They just messed around there and decided that they would, they bought their own hype that Donald Trump is smart. He's just talking like this to get people that usually don't take part in the political process, racist people and all of that. He's increasing the chances of Republicans having power. Do you understand? Oh, when he get in there, he's going to be just like any other president. Yeah? When was Donald Trump ever just like any other president? What other president do you know of that came close to acting like Donald Trump? Now, they made Frankenstein. Now, they done reached at their wits' end of what to do about Frankie. But rest assured, he's a Frankenstein now. You know what Frankenstein was. Yeah? So, the man I pity all of you. because I could have helped you keep your country, and at the same time, if you were smart, you would have helped me get my people up, and we could have eventually did great things to help each other and to change the world. But instead, you chose the low road. Yeah. And what you chose is just about to cost you your country. I ain't completely gave up on you yet. I wouldn't be standing here talking to you if I gave up on you. But believe me, you are you in peril. You're in a perilous time. You notice you're fulfilling the scripture and you don't even know it. The scripture says, for nation shall rise against nation. What you see with Ukraine and Russia, you see it going on all over the earth. These people are just doing crazy things. And kingdom against kingdom. Politicians fighting scientists. I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to understand this. How do a non-scientist fix his mouth to argue with a scientist that has studied a virus and made you aware that the virus was out there, showed you pictures of it, told you this thing frightens us? We never seen nothing like this before. And you start telling them that they lying, that it's no worse than the flu, it's no this and no that. You know how they talked about it when the CDC and Dr. Fauci and them was telling them that it's a novel virus. We don't, it's teaching us. We studying this thing. We don't know what all it can do to you. We ain't gonna panic right now and just start telling you to put on masks or whatever, because it ain't been that many cases. But we would advise you to take precautions. That's what he was telling people. Then later he said, no, you better put on a mask. N95 masks. Huh? And then you get this fool up there telling people that they don't know what they want us to do. They don't. That's like if you was in the military and war is always fluid. Fluid means it's not, it's nothing is etched in stone. You may be over here, and your enemy may be done surrounded you or got behind you. Then you don't keep going that way. You got to turn around. You don't say, look, man, make up your mind which way you want us to go. That's what they was doing to the medical people. As though the medical people was controlling that virus. But, like I told you, they wasn't interested in seeing your country stay together. They've been trying to get this 1776 thing together all along. That didn't just start. They've been doing that. It just metastasized with Trump. You see? And now, over 1 million Americans, well over 1 million Americans dead. People still dying from that virus and mutated all these times because you was too stupid to listen to the doctors and the professional people tell you to take the vaccine. You could have nipped it in its bud, but you let it have a petri dish. You let the virus use your body like a petri dish. Too many people did that. And the virus got a foothold. Now every time you look up, it's a new form of COVID. More infectious. And they don't know if it's more deadly yet. At least last I heard, they didn't know. So, you know, I'm going to show you something else here. This is a note I got from one of my brothers. So I'm going to put it up here. And I'll let you be the judge. You know, folks think that I don't give people a chance, or that I don't I'm not in touch with what's really going on. I'm in touch with a whole lot of things you don't know I'm in touch with. It's just like when they was talking about America first. You notice you don't hear that no more. Hardly. You know why? Because I stood up here and told you what they meant by it. They want you to forget they ever said it now. I mean, all you have to do is look at what the man been doing, and you can tell that him, and he's part of a body of people, of dictators, that, look, if America was not a successful, the most successful democratic republic, if we could just get rid of that, the rest of them would fall like dominoes. It would dishearten them, because if they see the North Star of republics, democratic republics, if they see that burn out, they would say, what is the hope? Do you understand? So if we want to get rid of democratic republics and replace them with autocracies and dictators, you got to get rid of America first. So they just come out, America first, and then you got the dumb white boy think that meant they love America. If he put America first, what is America? America is a quilt of every. It's a microcosm of everybody on earth. You got Chinese here, you got Japanese here, you got Africans here, from all Nigeria, from Ghana, South Africa, you got Haitians, you got some of everybody here. You got Cubans here, you got Spanish Americans, you got Mexicans here, you got people from all over. So if they put America first, you can't put America first and don't mean put its people first. Do you understand? But he haven't been putting the people of America first. He used the people against each other. Do you understand? And a house divided against itself, a country divided, each member of it against other members of the country, that country soon will not exist. Do you understand? Just a moment. I want you to see this. Just give me a minute here. This was it's so many things that I could tell you. But you know what they say about one picture? It's worth at least 1,000 words. Huh? Okay, let's see here. I should have asked Brother Zolly to send me the link, because this is not coming up. What he sent me here on there, the way they got it out, it's a thing called the Son of Man, and had Minister Farrakhan on the front of it. It was on Facebook, but I don't see it here. Miles Muhammad posted it on Facebook. Yeah. But I wanted y'all to see that. But anyway, if a link comes to it, I just noticed it was to my Facebook. Find stuff on YouTube and get it to me, so that, because I don't generally go on Facebook. Y'all goes on Facebook, and I don't mind being in Facebook talking, but I'm not a person who hang out on the computer. That's not my thing. I'd rather talk directly to people, not sit down typing and passing notes. You will never have any good linguistic skills if all you do is spend your time writing letters. You develop linguistic skills by communicating verbally with other people. You see. So, but anyway, we have many things that we wanted to share with you. Beg your pardon? Rebelliousness. When you know how I learned to lead? Allah made me first learn to follow. You see, the messenger, he taught us, he said, there are no big I's and little U's in Islam. And because he knew most of them wasn't paying him any attention, but he was here for one purpose: to find and raise the Son of Man, the Messiah. That's what Hoover and J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI, they had a counterintelligence program to, quote unquote, stop the rise of a black Messiah. Do you understand? That was their, what did Allah say to Satan? He said, well, there's Job. You say he accustomed to my faith. Let me see you make him do it. Huh? And Satan poured everything he could come up with on Job, didn't he? But Job never cursed God, nor did he sin with his mouth or his thought against God. No. And so, likewise, their job was to try the righteous. If you can stop the Messiah, he ain't the Messiah. do you understand? And so, any of you that can argue with me and prove to me that I'm not what I say I am, then I can't be. Do you understand? If you can win the argument against me, I'm not who I thought I was. The scripture does not say I went losing no arguments. The scripture says Allah, he it is who sent his messenger with the guidance and the religion of truth, that he may make it overcome the religions All of them. Prevail over them means to overcome them. Though the polytheists may be averse. The Bible says, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness, in religion, he doth judge and make war. And you put those two together, Son of man, I do send thee unto them. He it is who sent his messenger, as the messenger said, he called his messenger here the Son of Man. He sent his messenger with the guidance. What is guidance? It is understanding. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he had to make sure that I understood what he was teaching. He said, does no good to give a man something that he cannot master. He said, but I'm coming to you in a way where you can master what I'm teaching, and then you'll be just as big a boy as I am. He said, not saying that I'm the big boy. He said, but I'm trying to make you, Son of Man, the big boy. See, he was talking to me then. And he said, and then I will get behind the door and peep out at how you will react. Get behind what door? Pick a door. Jesus, Moses, David, Solomon. They are the everlasting doors. So it don't make no difference. He got behind the doors. Meaning Elijah was the last one. So he got behind the doors. and peeps out from time to time at how I react. What do you mean he peep out? Well, you'll notice, you said, what did you see? I didn't see nothing. Did you hear anything? No, I didn't hear a peep. But he peeps out from time to time to see how I will react, how my mind reacts with his, to give light. Do you understand? And so that's what I do. And so you did? Well, I'm going to show this to y'all. You see, we got people who like to claim to know stuff that they don't know. You got people who claim to be something that they are not. But I'm not one of them who makes them kind of claims. Do you understand? If I claim to know something, I know that. And if I claim to be something, I am that. So let's see here. I ain't looked in this mail and I don't know when, so it should be 300 things in there. I'll know in a minute. Let's see here. I wish it wouldn't be, but well, good. Ain't but 182 in there. That's good. Let's see here. Yours is at the top. Okay. Click on the blue, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's see. What you doing?
I'm connecting the PC back up. Just been a case, that's all.
Huh? You took that blue cable back there with you. Just a moment. I didn't know you disconnected it. Here he is. Yeah, here he is. I likes to let you see things.
Confused and
Just
a little frightened, I opened this Bible and I opened it to Ezekiel. And when I read here where the Lord, the sovereign Lord, was telling the Son of Man, stand up,
you
at that
disconnected
time I
now.
was laying down.
Let me see here.
I was on a
Y'all
horizontal
give me a
level.
minute here.
After Elijah Muhammad's departure, I went backward, like so many others.
all that music and stuff behind the man while he teaching? What's all that about? It's crazy. Y'all give me a minute. I'm looking for the one to connect my computer to the internet here. It ain't receiving it's not receiving what I'm sending it. Yeah, we're gonna be going off the air in a minute, but not yet. So just have patience, and we'll be going off the air in a minute. But I want y'all to hear this. And if I need to go over, since I started late, I might do that too. And brother gonna get it up for me in a minute, I reckon. Let me back that up. I like to. I don't know why I can't blow it up here. It ain't letting me blow it up. But you can hear it. Everybody knows his voice. Yeah. What?
You see down there, you see what volume is?
Yes.
Two over, you should see two arrows going out, just like that.
Okay. Let's try that.
Man,
Yeah,
it was
that'll work.
connected to the wheel. Well, there's
Now,
a
how do I get rid of these, what you call it there? Over there on the side.
Hit it again. Hit it pull all the way up.
Hit what again?
Those two arrows.
Okay. That's what I want. Well, I told you, y'all are God saints. Yeah. So, Brother Michael, how close are you? Can't you just take one wire out and put the other one back in and then let that do? All right, just let me know when you're ready. And it ain't on the TV back here, so I don't know what you took loose. But let me see here. 'Cause I know you didn't take none of these loose. Let me see if I got the right channel here. Just a moment. Let me try something else here. Did you disconnect HDM1 out of here?
You said did I?
Did you disconnect anything from this box down here?
No, sir.
It's not giving me the... It's not giving me no signal. It's not connecting up here. You all pardon me a minute. took the loose, it's not connecting no more. You all bear with us. You all bear with us. We trying to get this internet up here. Before you were showing what was on my computer, what did you take to disconnect?
I just disconnected the cable, but switched it over to this other one. It wasn't working. Video.
Go to that.
Yes, sir.
I was laying down. I was on a horizontal level. After Elijah Muhammad's departure, I went backward. Like so many others.
Remember, he stood up there and told him he had never wavered? Huh? See, you had to remember what lie you tell. You see? Yeah, he went backwards. All of them went backwards. Oh, backsliding Israel. Huh? This the man that was sitting up talking about he thought the messenger was jealous of him. How could you think that the messenger of God is jealous of you if you believe he's the messenger of God? Ain't that something? Okay, listen.
Like Peter, I denied him who taught me.
Then there. But I needed an appointment. So, the messenger not only told me there are no big I's and little U's in Islam, he showed me why. So he made ministers, captains, lieutenants, squad leaders, secretaries. He gave them lots of rank. Do you understand? And then I came in and step aside, brother. The captain coming through. As if the captain didn't have a mouth that he could say, excuse me, brother. But that's how they roll. Something wrong? I didn't hear you. Oh, okay. And so they in so many words, I'm paraphrasing. But that's what, the big I is. That's the captain. So you obey the captain. Even if the captain, you remember the Red Tails? The Tuskegee Airmen, the second version, Red Tails? You remember when the white officers were sitting around with some white lawyers or white politicians, senators or somebody, and they was running down the black soldiers, the black pilots, and saying that they wasn't working out. It's nothing happening. They not. And the brother that played Muhammad Ali at one point in the when they came out with Ali, I forgot his name, but anyway, he said, you didn't give us a chance. You put us way back there in the back, shooting convoys or trains. Say we ain't been nowhere to fight to shoot down no Germans, and he say you put us in there, and then you rig it so we will fail, and then you blame it on us. And so they gave them a mission, and they went out and racked up a whole bunch of destroyed a bunch of planes on the ground, and destroyed a bunch of planes in the air. And he came back, and the white colonel looked at him and told him, he said, don't make no difference how many planes you shoot down. You still don't have my respect or whatnot. And he's in so many words, see, I don't give a damn about your respect. He said, respect the uniform. He said, believe me, sir, that's all I respect. In the military, they teach you that you don't have to like the man, but you must respect the office. Do you understand? Well, you know where they got that from? They got that from their manifest or written destiny. When God told the angels that he was going to put the devil in charge for 6,000 years, they didn't like it, but they respected it. Do you understand? They didn't know why he was putting the devil in charge. Only God knew. Allah knew why he was putting the devil in charge. The messenger told us why. He told me why, knowing that I would, if anybody tried to argue with him, I would take it up. We needed to get a thorough understanding of where evil leads you to. How do you think I came up with the conclusion, and that regardless to, there is no right way to do something that is wrong. Do you understand? I mean, if I'd have did it this way, people keep thinking they will be successful by doing evil. They will receive the reward of success and goodness by doing evil. evil will not yield a good result. It never has, and it never will. You know what that's like saying? For you to think that you can do evil, it's like Trump. His evil now is now catching up to him. Do you understand? If the best you got is to threaten the FBI that you're going to come get them, you done lost your damn mind, boy. You're not the first one that thought they could come get the FBI. Al Capone wasn't that stupid. I didn't hear you. You saw stupid go up there and thought he's so used to frightening people by holding up a gun and talking about what he going to do to them. He thought he could go do that to the FBI. Now he in the ground. Well, he about soon to be put in the ground. Them people ain't scared of you, man. Well, it's really something that people could be that stupid. But he made himself stupid. Here, they push a lie and try to flip the script and make the lie a worthy cause. You look, man, when have white people ever thought that they truly was right about something and a black man stand up and tell them they wrong and they don't come in there and say nothing to them? I mean, I'm standing up here telling them that they all a bunch of crooks, lying, liars, murderers, and cowards. You see, in order to, you remember when Rudy Giuliani and them was running up there talking about the fraud in the election? When they got in front of a judge, what did they say then? When the judge asked them, are you saying that there was fraud? No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor, in court. But in the street, it was fraud. Who was they talking? No reasonable person. That's what Sidney Powell said. No reasonable person would have believed what I said. Is that what a rational person, a reasonable person? Huh? She's saying that the people who actually pushing that, they are not rational. And she knows it. So she's feeding them that anyway. Because she want to help Donald use them people to overthrow the United States government. That ain't no accident that people are that ignorant now. How you know it wasn't no accident? Who are some of the lowest paid people in positions of government positions? Teachers. And when you reduce the amount of money that you pay for a service, you don't get the cream of the crop. You get people who, some of them, they don't really want to do it, but that's the best they can find, so they go in there and do that. But the ones who could have really kept your society on the cutting edge when it comes to education, America didn't used to be no 29th or 30th in education. America used to have the most educated people on the planet. Of course, teachers lived well. Teachers were the first middle class, almost. Why? Because they understood that you cannot have a civilization if you do not pass your knowledge on to the younger generation. Got to make way for the young folks. Huh? But no, they don't want. Understand something. These people that you call rednecks or whatnot, we say rednecks or whatnot, everybody will be a redneck if you ain't got no knowledge. If you filled with false knowledge, you become a redneck, even if you black. Just like a nigger. You become a nigger even if you white. You're just stupid. And you can be used as a tool and a slave because you're ignorant. My people perish for the lack of knowledge. What does the word ignorant mean? It means to lack knowledge. My people perish because of ignorance. But God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten S-U-N, that whosoever believeth on him should not perish, should not be ignorant. You notice, you come in my classes, you don't be ignorant for long. You start learning immediately. And pretty soon, people that you used to look up to, you be trying to ask yourself, why did I ever look up to them? I told you, it wasn't because they were so smart. It was that you were so dumb. A spider web is not a strong thing. It's a weak thing. But it's like steel bars to a fly because he's so weak. Do you understand? Do you understand? So I'm trying to wake all of you up. Because, anytime you reap some benefit from your parents, even if it was just your life, you owe them honor and respect. Do you understand? The idea of freedom is the one thing that comes with being born in America. The idea of freedom. That's why people in this country are so rebellious. That's the truth. You get in trouble. Americans get in trouble quick in a dictatorship. Why? Because there's a holiday fair in a minute. Why should I do that? That man ain't right. And next thing you know, he in jail and his life being threatened for telling a dictator that he's wrong. You remember Donald Trump said, bust him in the mouth, and I'll take care of your legal fees. Why? Why don't you talk to the man and show us how intelligent you are by arguing with him and showing us that he don't know what he's talking about, and you can knock down whatever opposition he has in his mind against you. But Donald Trump don't have the ability. He don't have no reasonable mind. That's why he does all of his talk with notes that can't talk back. Have you ever really seen him argue with anyone? He surrounds himself with lackeys, and if you won't be his lackey, he soon get rid of you. Do you understand? So, that's why he never grows. He's a fool. Only a fool surrounds himself with people who don't know any more than he does. That's like dropping out of school in the 5th grade. You refuse to go listen to any other teachers that may tell you some things that you don't know. You say, I ain't gonna listen to you. I know what I need to know. That's what. That whenever you meet somebody that know what they need to know, and you trying to share something more with them that is relevant to what they already know, but don't know enough of to make a rational judgment, and they tell you they know all they need to know, well, you looking for somebody who's hastening to the correction of the stocks. You know how you correct a horse or a dog or some hard-headed beast? You have to put some on his behind. There you go. So, you know, always, look, whenever you think you know something, you know how you can prove a person really thinks they know a thing? They welcome discussion and opposing views of it. If you really know a thing, it don't make no difference how many people oppose you, how many people try to argue with you. If you really know it, you can shut them all up. See how I shut all these people up that call themselves atheists and different religions and all that stuff? See, all of them shut up. That's because I know what I'm talking about. I wouldn't be the Lord if I didn't know what I was talking about. What kind of Lord is that? Don't know what he's talking about. Even the words know what you're talking about. Listen to those words. Most people they hear you say, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, the truth of the matter is, most of the time the one who's saying that don't know what they're talking about. Do you understand? To say that you know what you're talking about, it means that the subject matter that you are discussing, you have knowledge and understanding of it, and the wisdom of how to best use it. Do you understand? And if you don't have the wisdom of how to best use it, you don't yet know what you're talking about. Yeah. So, see, they listen to me, and they listen for a lie. That's why they go out of here, out of my class, just as dumb as they was when they came in. People look through dictionaries and don't have any more grasp on the language than they did before they looked in the dictionary. Because it seemed like curiosity would make you want to look at the meaning of some of these other words in there, just to make sure you got a good grasp of them. But most people, they go and find the word they're looking for, and that's it. When I listen to people, if you're a good listener, you can learn the meaning of words that you never knew had that meaning, just by listening to the way the word is used. How you think I called Donald Trump now? I listened. Make America great again. If America wasn't already great, people from all over the world wouldn't be trying to come here. So what do you mean, make it great again? So, you know, someone who never matured, life was great when they was a child as far as they're concerned. But a person who really lived life in the moment. You remember when Yoda told told Obi-Wan concerning Luke. He said, I cannot teach the boy. He has no patience. And too old for the training. Too old. And remember, it said, train a child up in the way that he is to go. And when he becomes old, he will not depart from it. They got another saying in this world. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. But anyway, so the Yoda, when he said that, Obi-Wan told him, he will learn. He said, then Yoda asked him, will he finish what he starts? He said, for a long time I've watched this one. Never his mind on where he was, what he was doing. Always looked to the future. Never on that. He's always, you got people who they say they want to do this. Then when they get to do that, then they got something else they want to go do. They ain't finished that, but always got, their mind always never stabilizes into finishing what they start. And that is because of lack of training. And that's one of the things that the scripture teaches you to do with your child. Train the child up in the way he is to go. My children saw me start and finish things that I started. Always. So starting and not finishing is not my thing. Even though I may take a while, but I finish it. You see? You cannot live your life and accomplish anything if you don't finish anything. To accomplish things, you must start and finish. You got to know when something is finished too. You can't just keep on working on something. You got people talking about there's always room for improvement. That's not true. If there's always room for improvement, then there's no such thing as perfect. But they don't hear themselves. See, and what they call improvement oftentimes is not improvement. It's reaching the zenith and then backsliding, going backwards without realizing that they have just moved away from perfection and gone back into imperfection. You see? You want to know what perfect is? Apples, oranges, tangerines, peaches. You notice when you go and grab a peach, you expect it to taste a certain way all the time. And you're not too much disappointed. Even if it's not quite like you like it, it still tastes like a peach. Do you understand? Same with apples. It's nice to bite into one and then you hear it crunch. You hear that crack. That even makes it taste better. Because it pops when you bite into it. But even the one that don't make no sound, it still's an apple. It still tastes like an apple. The Creator finished that thing. Moved on. You got to keep on working on that. It's done. It's finished. Now, the only thing that wasn't finished is now being finished. Man. Yep. So, like the earth, it's always light and it's always dark. It's the garden of eternal day and eternal night. The Garden of Eden. And likewise, that's the way we are. We have a dark side and we have a light side. And we now understand both. And so now, instead of fighting ourselves and never really grasping ourselves, now we know that we are both. God and the devil. Do you understand? Like our system is red cells and white cells make up our blood. One carries life and the other one goes to and fro, up and down, seeking whom it may devour. Do you understand? Even watches the red cell. He said, the wicked watcheth the righteous and seeketh to slay him. If he do something other than what he's supposed to do, that white cell will jump on that red one. Do you understand? Yeah. So I'm trying to show you that I just can't. I can't be what you want me to be. I have to be what God made me to be. You see, Allah didn't make me to be the enemy of human beings, any human beings. I'm the enemy to evil, to that which destroys my family, my human family. Do you understand? I'm not going to help destroy my family. No. So, live and let others live. But you can't do that if you don't respect life. So here you had a man claiming that he's the Son of Man, but his word ain't worth nothing because he claimed that in 75 that he should be following W.D. Muhammad, and that he pledged himself to W.D. Muhammad. That pledge didn't last either, did it? Every time you look up, he talking about he loved somebody. And the very, very people that he claimed to love was people that he used to be at odds with. Do you understand? I mean, he went and spoke to a bunch of preachers. Now, he had his come to Jesus moment and all this kind of stuff. I mean, he's not true to anything. Jesus wasn't no Christian. So why are you placating people who trying to turn Jesus' teaching into something that Jesus didn't teach? Jesus said many will come in his name saying that he's Jesus Christ, but they will deceive you. He told you to look for my coming. How do you know when the Son of Man show up? Because darkness, ignorance begins to disappear. And knowledge begins to replace it. That's why you don't hear nobody come in here and argue with me. That's why if I wanted to stand up here and teach 4 more hours, you'd still be sitting there listening. Because you can't get enough. That's it. The more you get, the more you want. Because it is truth. And we were created with truth in mind. So I'm telling all of you, if you want to live, if you want to be on this earth, walk away from Donald Trump. Walk away from all liars. Because God said, all liars shall have their part in the lake that burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the final death, the second death. The first death is spiritual. We died that death already. And now, we were tricked into sin. Why was that? It was so that we would not try to judge the devil. Why would that make us not try to judge the devil? Because with whatever judgment you judge him, you're guilty of doing the same thing with him. You've been doing that too. Judge not, that you be not judged. Now, look at when you serve people. If you serve someone, what do you call them? You either call him master, my Lord, or something to that effect, right? What did Satan say when Allah asked him why you didn't submit when I commanded you? He said, I'm not going to make obeisance to no mortal, whom thou didst create of sounding clay, of black mud fashioned into shape. And Allah told him, then you go forth. Meaning, get out of here. For surely thou art driven away. Remember Cain said, thou hast driven me from your face. You know, driven me out. And from your face I will be hid. Remember that? And so, you notice, the dark side of the earth is hidden from the light of the sun. Is that right? And so he said, you go forth, for surely thou art driven away, and on you is a curse till the day of judgment. Then the devil came back and said, well, my Lord, as you have judged me to be, and what did he call God? My Lord. How many white folks out there come in here and tell me Allah is not God? Come in here and tell me that. You didn't have no problem saying that to people that didn't know. you don't seem to have the same what you call zeal to come in here and talk to me like that. That's wise. So he said, my Lord, as you've judged me to be Aaron, I'm going to make evil fair seeming. So the Bible says, who is he that judgeth another man's servant? Why? Judge not, that you be not judged. Because with whatever judgment you judge, you shall be judged. Huh? Woe to thou, O man, whosoever thou art that judgest another, and doest the same thing yourself. That's all in there. Is that right? You know why that's all in there? It's to shut your mouth when you hear me offering salvation to everybody. Remember the parable that Jesus gave of the man that hired servants to go work in his vineyard. And at the end of the day, he asked those men, why are you standing around here? And they said, because no man have given us work. And he said, well, you go on over there and in my vineyard, and I'll pay you what is right. And so they went an hour before quitting time, and when they got in there to get paid, he gave them the same reward as everybody else. He gave them the same amount. And the others thought he had did something wrong. Now, why are you giving them the same? He said, friend, did we not agree on the penny? What is that to say? Did we not agree that I would save you? Well, don't worry about who else I saved. Just be thankful I saved you. And when you truly become a Muslim, now that you have learned that in the way of flesh, all men are brothers. A Muslim loves for his brother what he loves for himself. And until you feel that way, none of you is a Muslim until he loves for his brother what he loves for himself. You love life, you love salvation for you, and you love salvation for your family. If you didn't learn nothing else from the devil, you should have learned how ugly that is. He loved his children, he loved his wife, he loved with whatever love he can give. But at the same time, he loving and educating and giving his children everything, he didn't want us to give ours the same thing. He hated us for trying to do the same thing for our family. And you saw how ugly that is.
So now let me get this right. It was wrong when white people did it to us. So now we get up and do it to them. Somehow it's right. What kind of thing is that? So you didn't really believe it was wrong. You just think it's wrong because you ain't doing it. But it ain't the wrong thing. It's the right thing as long as you is the one doing it to somebody else. So you didn't learn nothing from your experience, huh? Why? Because you want to do to others what you did not want done to you. I mean, so I'm not gonna let white people convert me to being one of them. I mean, I ain't no devil. I'm more than a devil, man. I'm more than a conqueror. Yeah, that's right. As I said, through Christ, we are more than conquerors. The only thing that's more than conquerors is God. He sent them forth and gave them a bow, a crescent. And you know, they had a crescent for a long time in Masonics. They've had the crescent and stuff in there. You just didn't know what it meant. They knew what it meant. And he went forth conquering and for the sole purpose to conquer, to subdue the earth, like he was told to do. See how I'm making everything so clear? Yes. Now, how could I do that if I wasn't the Son of Man? You see? How many people you know of that have actually suffered the kind of losses that you've seen me suffer, and go away laughing about it and not worrying about it? I told you, what I look like crying over a building or a city or whatnot, and the whole earth belong to me. Everything you got is mine. Everything that's on the earth and in the earth was made by the truth for the man of the truth. It's by him, for him. That's what the book said. And without him in mind was not anything made that was made. Who is this him? Now you meeting him. Those who expected not the meeting with us, well, that's on you. You can't explain me away, can you? He just wants your money. When the last time you heard me stand up here asking people for money? Really? When the last time you heard me begging for money? You ain't got sense enough to give me money? Well, I ain't finna beg you for nothing, because what you giving me was for you. That's all you. That is how I will help you and show you what you could have been doing with the money if you hadn't been so wasteful. But you don't see money as a tool. You see it as the purpose of life. So that's what makes people like Donald Trump sell their country out and support people who rob whole nations. Yes. Yeah. I mean, here, when Saddam Hussein, when he passed, didn't he have billions of dollars in foreign banks of money that belonged to the Iraqi people? I mean, you all are some crooks. if I had billions of dollars, my people wouldn't be living in poverty. I'd be buying heavy equipment. I'd be buying all kinds of things and spreading that money out. Not only would I be buying that kind of stuff, I'd be putting my people in business. I'd be doing all kinds of things. Pretty soon we'd be out there not trying to sell you a ticket to go out in space. We'd be taking you out there, telling you, come on, let's go. Let's get out there and see what's out there. You already gave me the money. Now we got the money, we got the ship, let's go. But no, you selfish. You're just a bunch of devils, and I'm getting sicker and sicker of you. You just, every time you look up, you figuring out some lie to tell people, to trick them out of money. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going to let you go since I can't get no rise out of nobody. Yeah. They used to want to talk to me. They don't want to talk to me no more. Y'all refusing to let people talk to me? Don't be in there telling nobody they got to make no appointment to talk to me.
Nobody has their hand raised. I got the
What is?
person from the other day, Ralph, and he typed, when sick, can't get well, you get Marvin Muhammad.
Well, that was almost the truth. When you're sick and can't get well, you get Marvin Muhammad. Remember Jesus said, of all thou hast given me, none of them is lost but the son of perdition. That the scripture might be fulfilled, that the Son of Man came to seek and save that which couldn't get well. Do you understand? See, he meant that as an insult. But I told you, they ain't got sense enough to insult me. I mean, he don't even know the scripture, so he think that was an insult to me. That's how he meant it. But the scripture says, there's another thing the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us. He said, when all else has failed, then comes Islam. You see? See, now, he can't argue with me. He can't get that $50,000. But he's a big enough fool to sit up in there and punk himself like he just did. You see? You know, it's just like what they got so used to talking to ignorant people. Well, let me put it like this. To people that had not the background to deal with certain types of lies and insults. But the man that's Attorney General now was a federal judge. And an honest federal judge. A man who have integrity. Merrick Garland is not your run-of-the-mill Attorney General. In federal court, they practice law. They make judgments about constitutional law. And when you start getting out there talking about the FBI planted evidence and all of this kind of thing with a former federal judge is the head of the FBI, and you think that you can get away with going out there saying that the FBI did something underhanded to you, and after he got through saying all of that and opening up that door, that the FBI never opened up a door like that. They never told you that they was investigating this person or investigating that person. They respected your right of innocence until proven guilty in a court of law, not in a court of public opinion. Do you understand? So what happened? He starts telling people that the FBI raided him. They didn't even go there in their normal uniforms of had the FBI on the back of their jackets and windbreakers and stuff. They went in suits and ties. People wouldn't have known if that was the Secret Service or whoever. They went there and did everything by the book and by their history of investigations. Who told that an investigation was going on? Donald Trump did. And then tried to say they planted evidence, then that he didn't know what they was doing, and he had a list of everything they was in there looking for.
Sir, did you hear that they had, the FBI gave them closed circuit TV?
Yeah, I heard it. I just played it. He lied and said that he didn't see nothing. So, you know, like I said, you remember I warned you, never pick a fight with somebody who got more sense than you. Like that stupid man just now. Boy, I don't do it. But when I was in elementary school and junior high school, I knew how to play the dozens. I knew how to talk about your mama and all that kind of stuff. I grew up with that. You don't want to come in here and call yourself going to trade insults with a 71-year-old man that knew that stuff before you was born. You're about a dummy. Instead of taking advantage of my wisdom, you want to come in here and insult me for being wise. And make a complete fool of yourself. Who is he who rejects the religion of Abraham? But he who makes a fool of himself. And you know what they say? Fools rush in, where even the angel of the bottomless pit fears to tread. You ain't no white people coming in here throwing that at me. Unless he white and hiding. But in actuality, he is a black white man if he is black. He's just a dumb copy of the devil. That's why they don't respect you, because you're stupid. Devil don't respect nobody he can make a fool out of. If it wasn't for me, he'd have you hook, line, and sinker. You've been over here being kicked in your behind for 400 years, and you yet ain't got sense enough to get up and leave. Oh, well, we gonna pick it. We gonna make them treat us right. I'm not gonna sit around here with you begging white people. I'm going to get with my own people, and we're going to build our nation, and we're going to have our own nation. Now, if you ain't got sense enough to appreciate me for that, then the hell with you. Now go put that in your little crack pipe and smoke it. You little fool. Anybody else? You know, I can't stand stupid people. You know, because he's stupid now because he's choosing to be, not because he have to be. Because if he had paid half attention to me, he would have respect for me. But no. As the messenger said, I can't get respected in your backyard. I mean, the white people in Mississippi shut their mouth at me. They respect me. But not him. He don't have no respect for me. I'm too black. He can't respect nobody with black skin. He hates black skinned people. Do you understand? just like his boss taught him to do. So, okay. Since nobody else have nothing to ask me, we going into another hour. I'm not going to do that. So may Allah bless us and keep us safe and in our right minds. Actually, we didn't go but 3 hours. The first hour was all messed up. So maybe they give us a break. So may Allah bless us and keep us safe and in our right minds. And grant to each and every one of us who receive his word with thanksgiving a peaceful and pleasant night's rest and sleep, and a happy, peaceful, and pleasant morning's rise. And to those young men that's in the FBI, I know you didn't want to kill that man. Just do your job and protect your country. Allah gave you the right to do that. He gave you the duty to do that. That is what you took an oath to do. To uphold the Constitution and defend it against all enemies. Most people, they don't even understand why you are told to pledge your allegiance and defense to the Constitution of the United States of America and defend it against all enemies, foreign and domestic. It is because it is the Constitution that, look at the words, constitute. The Constitution is what constitutes you as a independent nation. That's what makes you independent. Laws that defend you from others and defend others from you. That you agree to abide by the rules of. The rule of law. Do you understand? Not the rule of individuals, but the rule of law. You started off with the rule of individuals, and that didn't work out too well for you. King George, he was an individual. And his word was law. And his word kept changing, so the law kept changing. So you didn't know whether the boo-boo would go blind. So you just pretty soon got fed up with it. And I don't blame you. Don't nobody want a leader and a government must be as constant as the North Star and as dependable as the sunrise. You got to know what to expect from them. And once you know what to expect, you know what is expected of you. Okay. And that he owes you, and you owe that to him or that government. Do you understand? Okay. So I'm going to let you go. And I talk to you tomorrow at prayer service if it pleases Allah. May Allah bless us all and grant to us a peaceful and pleasant night's rest and sleep, and a happy, peaceful, and pleasant morning's rise. And from now on, whoever calls those FBI people who are trying to preserve and defend their nation, you call them insulting them or threatening them, to hell with you. Amen, amen, and amen. Now, straighten your wicked self up and you wouldn't have to see them. They came out here once and put their guns in their trunk. They came in here, there 3 of them, an old one and 2 young ones. And they talked to me respectfully, And I answered their questions, and they asked me to tell one of my followers that they need him to get in touch with them. And they said, we know that you all follow the law, and so they ain't come out here to start nothing with you or whatever, but we need to talk to Frederick. And I made sure that I said, okay, I will see to him speaking with you. And they did, and they ain't seen them since. That don't mean they ain't watching me. But don't be running around here talking about they planting evidence on you. You're just a lie. They ain't planted nothing on you. You took that stuff there. So, may Allah's salam alaikum.